And we are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Life as a Chad YouTube channel. I thank all of you for being here, wherever you may be, and of course, however you may be listening. I don't know how old this debate is between Candace Owens and Mikhaila Peterson. My guess is it's fairly recent, as this has been the topic that they debated is something that has been uh, hitting the internet waves pretty hard for I would say about the past month. I've done two videos on it already. This is going to be my third. It's a very important topic. I think in the past I have on many occasions discussed kind of the split that we are currently seeing both in the left wing and the right wing amongst um, individuals that maybe espouse a certain worldview, and they're really duking it out for power, not only for the country but specifically and foremost within their own political ideology. So we're gonna watch the clip on the Piers Morgan channel. Well, I'm not gonna watch it on the Piers Morgan channel. We're gonna watch a few clips that were posted on X. That's how I came across it. Anyways, because you guys know, generally speaking, if not all the time, I don't really, I don't watch females content, and I've said many times I don't think you should either. But I do think that if there is one that isn't the worst to listen to, isn't the biggest thought, and generally, I believe does care about politics and trying to get to the truth of things, has an inquisitive mindset, and tries to live the life that she espouses, I would say Owens fits that bill. So this is an interesting topic. Just to quickly summarize what I'm talking about when I say that there's a split, and I've mentioned it before. So the left wing, and excuse me, guys, I'm a little bit sick. I've been a little sick the last couple of days, so if my voice sounds different, that's why. I'm through the thick of it, thank God. But had a sore throat and just the chills, all that bullshit. Um, the left wing, the primary battle is between more socialist, communistic, left leaning leftists that want the state to have as much power as possible. Obviously, believing in social programs, social control to promote their worldview, and right now, I would say that includes racial politics, in line with kind of this victimhood mentality, specifically against the white straight male. They very much are in favor of women and feminism. And well, they say they're in favor of women. In reality, their worldview does not produce the best for women, but that's a different subject for a different day. They believe in breaking up the nuclear family and kind of just having this world where everybody just kind of does whatever they want. It is kind of an anarcho, in some ways libertarian mindset where it's like, well, who am I to judge? Who if they want to be degenerate and fuck a dead corpse, then that's what they want to do. That's what I would say kind of the super left leaning individuals are. And then there's the more classical liberals that would be like the Robert Kennedys, the Jordan Petersons, even though most people think of Jordan Peterson and his daughter being right leaning, I would say in any other point in history, they would actually be probably Democrats. They are classical liberals. And then that obviously they believe in some of the things that that the super left believes in, maybe at a slower rate, and maybe not as government controlling. But in general, they call themselves progressives. So they want to move any civilization towards a more enlightened mindset, whatever they view that to be. Most of the time, it's not very enlightened. On the right wing, you have, and this is probably the most important, you have neocons that have been around for a while, the William F. Buckley types. I would say George Bush was very much a neocon. And his vice president, I'm blanking on his name right now. Those would definitely be more neocons, more hawkish, warlike. Let's put as much money into the military that we can. Dick Cheney, of course, is the name. And they do definitely tend to be kind of similar to leftists but in a different way for a different motivation. And this is why it's important to uh, nail this down before we listen to the clips. They tend to be supporters of immigration, but from the motivation not of diversity, although sometimes they will shoehorn that in there, but that's not their primary motivation. Their primary motivation is cheap labor. They're very much supporters of big business, big companies, and things like that. Obviously, they do tend to be staunch supporters of Israel as well. And then you have paleo conservatives like Pat Buchanan, um, that are reactionaries and believe, and this is where I would tend to lean. They're more socially conservative, more socially traditional. They're against, by and large, uh, all forms of immigration, especially if it does not assist the American population or whatever population that specific country is. They tend to be citizens first, whatever is best for the citizens of that specific nation. Again, they tend to be socially traditional, and things like this. And uh, ultimately, unfortunately, Trump, when he first started out, had a lot of leanings towards that. That's why he was hated so much. But that's also why he was supported so much by the American people. That's why he was able to gain the working class, the blue collar class that before that had kind of been supporting the left because the left was um, more on their side of supporting the works, the jobs that they were in, the work that they performed. Um, and then, Donald Trump comes around, primarily getting a lot of his material from Ann whatever. Fuck, I can't believe I'm blanking on her name too. This sickness is getting to me. And he gained a lot of support, and was hated by so much. And the establishment neocons of the Republican Party hated him. They did not want him to win at all costs. And it's important that people remember that. I think for whatever reason, a lot of people have forgotten about that. A lot of conservatives have forgotten about that. And Coulter. And so, and then when all was, I had to pause it real quick because I could hear this in the background. Ann Coulter, of course, is the name. And then when all was said and done, Ann Coulter stopped supporting Trump and calling him out for not doing what he said he was going to do in way of immigration reform, building the wall, and things like that. Of course, I would still consider Ann um closer to neoconservatism than somebody like myself, or I honestly would consider her closer to neoconservatism in a lot of ways than being a paleo conservative, but she's not the worst. And at the very least, she purports not to be establishment first and rather American citizen first. So, anyways, that's a nice little summary of it, and it matters because this is what is dictating stances on the H1B visa. For the left wing, of course, they're okay with this bullshit because they want what they call diversity. They want to bring in a foreign population to dispel the normal, the American citizens that have already been here. And because at all costs, that's what they say they support. And I would say that that's something that the super left wing, the more classical liberal types, now maybe not as fiercely, but they both do, in essence, believe in that. And then on the right wing, they are supporters of the H-1B visa because they get cheap labor, and that's why they are supporting it so much. And when it comes to Elon Musk in particular, guys, he is not a conservative. Okay, there are things that he has done that have been positive. It absolutely has. And I listened to a recent video that Razor Fist, I believe his name is, um, did. And he said that he did a video talking about how he said that Elon Musk was not a conservative, but him being in control of X was definitely better than Jack Dorsey. And that's true. But still, he's not a conservative. Okay. He is a nerd from South Africa who is a technocrat. Okay. His stances are not going to be super conservative. So I say that only to say that you shouldn't be surprised when he doesn't have these super conservative beliefs. And that is why it is good for conservatives to hold him accountable when he starts getting too far away from our worldview. At the end of the day, guys, politics is us versus them, and it is about expressing your power to your means. And that's something that I don't think conservatives, by and large, have done a good enough job in the last, I would say, 100 years. All right, let's play some of these clips. Let me get the sound on for this bad boy, and we'll get this thing rolling here. And Mikhaila Peterson, of course, has had an interesting come up. She is the daughter of Peterson. I think she's a airhead, honestly. Um, she largely benefits because she's the daughter of Jordan Peterson, and of course, she's not ugly. She's a non 300 pound average looking woman. And there has been the drama in the past between with her and Andrew Tate. Did they? Didn't they? Um, I think it was put forward by Rollo Tomasi. All right, here we go. Neither here nor there.
Mind if I also want to add here, just just regarding Elon Musk shifting gears and even speaking about that issue, you are correct. Obviously, I follow UK politics to some degree because of who I'm married to, and I will tell you that it very much seemed to me like he was drudging up this issue because he was getting so much backlash on the H-1B visa. So I don't really know how sincere Elon Musk was when he weighed into that issue at all. Suddenly,
no one's
do you
not
mind if
going
I
to be.
finish
That's
my
ridiculous.
sentence,
No one.
Mikhaila? You've just been talking
Like,
for a long time. Do you mind if I?
Kind of. You. Like,
There's not
you
a time.
do
There's
so
not.
many
There's not a time.
half-truths.
Do you mind, Mikhaila? Do you? I mean, is it okay if I just say a couple words? Is it?
Mind if I finish
one
my
after
sentence?
another. It's hard to address them all.
Do you mind if I?
It is funny because, like, on TV shows or comedies, they will use this setup as a way to make fun of like news and political talk shows. Like, I think even in South Park, they've had episodes where it's like "Rah, rah, 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 rah." And but still, it does make for an interesting conversation, no matter how stereotypical it really is.
Finish my sentence? I feel like I've let you
I mean, a
speak
bit,
and
but go
everyone's
ahead.
speaking.
Go
Wow,
ahead.
Do you
how
mind letting me finish my
bitchy.
sentence?
Go
Okay, thanks.
ahead.
Um,
What the fuck is Pierce doing there in the background? That's another guy that the right wing just like hopelessly wants to bring in and give all their adoration to, because I sadly a lot of conservatives are uh self-conscious about being conservatives, and so when there's somebody who traditionally came from the left wing of things that comes over, they are just filled with joy because they are self-conscious about the fact that they are conservatives, and they want to be liked. They want uh, somebody from the other side to say, you know what, your beliefs are okay, and it's ridiculous. You should never think like that.
Thank you, Mikhaila. So what I was just going to say is it seemed very much to us that he was just trying to shift gears because basically he was trending for almost 2 weeks over the H1B visa, and he was doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down. And then suddenly he's just advising on UK politics. And like you said, this issue hasn't been going on forever. It was extensively covered by the mainstream media. It was not brought up by Tommy Robinson. We can have a discussion about what's going on in the UK. That's great. I'm glad that he has spotlighted the issue. But you are correct that most Americans are not up to date on what's happening there. So it did seem like a random shift. And Mikhaila, I do have to say, you say that you're not into celebrity culture, but the way that you respond regarding Elon Musk is very much like a Swiftie. I mean, you haven't even heard what I have to
Wow.
say. You're defending everything he says and does to the point that all you do is issue ad hominem attacks. I mean, your first response back when we were speaking about Elon Musk is, well, it must be an IQ thing if people don't understand him. You keep just calling people stupid. People are racist. No, people are having a different opinion than Elon Musk. And you don't have to have a higher IQ than Elon Musk to have a different opinion from him. Quite frankly, I don't think he is the most socially sharp person in the entire world. He's done incredible things. We can definitely say that he is a genius. It does not make him right on issues of immigration spanning from here to the UK. It's ridiculous. I mean, he's not a king.
Well said. I just want to touch upon a few things. Number one, nothing better than a little girl on girl action to see some drama. Girls are the you cannot when it's a guy versus a girl, it's a completely different dynamic. When it's girl on girl, because women compete with one another, and they know this innately. And when they go at it for something like this, it's like two times better than what it would be a guy versus a girl. But there is a terrible propensity, and I think that this comes from, again, the classical liberals that in any other point in history would be Democrats. They come over to the right wing and infiltrate the right-leaning sphere, Con Inc., and they bring their elitist mindset with them and look down on the plebs of society. And I think that that was a great point from Candace. Obviously, we didn't get to hear Michaela's response there. If you want, you guys can go and check Piers Morgan. But it's a great point to point out that somebody like Mikhaila Peterson, rather than refuting with actual arguments and facts and ideas and refuting said point or ideology, instead they go to ad hominem attacks, personalizing and shaming people for their beliefs, saying that they are just, if you don't believe with Elon Musk, naturally you just must be an idiot. You must be stupid, because Elon's here and you're here. Okay, okay. And Candace did a great job of saying, you know what? Yeah, Elon Musk is highly intelligent, but just because he's intelligent in the field of technology and things like that doesn't mean that he's the most intelligent socially or politically. Very, very true. Let's watch
Test
this clip
people.
as well.
So there's plenty of flaws to talk about. But I think right before the inauguration, having conservatives argue like amongst ourselves about an H1B visa issue when we have an open border is silly, especially when it does kind of dredge up what I call.
For what it's worth, I think the first clip I showed was later, and this one was probably earlier in the episode. So
The woke right on X. And I know you've scoffed at the term the woke right, but it encompasses these people that are focused on anti-Semitism, Jews, and are very
dog whistle, another dog whistle. And again, they're just people like Mikhaila are just the opposite side of the same coin from these leftist individuals. And this is why I hate the term woke, as Candace Owens is about to detail. It's just a dog whistle. That's all it is. Sometimes it can be used aptly to describe somebody's viewpoints, but in reality, uh, she is the woke right. Mikhaila is the quintessential woke right. What wokeism means is having a mainstream establishment kind of idea, more liberal in nature, um, stance. That is what being woke is. And yeah, I don't think it's as apt to say woke right because it's kind of antithetical. But if anything, she's woke right because she is more left of center, in my estimation, than somebody like Candace Owens. So
the
again, it just shows that she doesn't know what the fuck. She has no fucking idea what wokeism means.
pro-America, but their idea of America is this white America, similar to, I guess, what everyone's been arguing about for the last 200 years whenever anybody new comes into the country. And I do think it has to do with race. And I think you can see that from comments on Twitter. I mean, Vivek put up a picture. I don't know if you saw it. It wasn't Vivek. It was this horrible woman on Twitter.
Yeah, it does. So what? So what? It also has to do uh by way of, in line with culture and the culture that comes with bringing them here. Um, and this is what I mean by Mikhaila being more woke right than and her having no idea what she's talking about when she says that, because a woke mindset is again erring on the side of believing in diversity and not being American citizen first, and asking yourself what does it mean to be American? What does it mean to be a nation? Somebody like me would say, because there's like a four-pronged method where you can look at any point in history and see, how close politically the nation was, how ethnically diverse or similar the nation was, how aligned with their values and being Christian. And there might be one more, how similar the common tongue is. Um, to kind of see where the nation is at. And somebody like Mikhaila, again, wants to bring in these people with cultures that come from cultures that are just not the best. And ultimately, when it comes to asking yourself, what makes America America? Yeah, ethnicity and race definitely is a part of that. Okay, America was founded, regardless of the whole Native American thing and all of that. Okay, America was founded as a Christian white nation, plain and simple. Same with Canada, same with the European countries. And I feel the same thing. I feel the same way about Japan. I don't want people to be immigrating to Japan and change the demographic of Japan. I don't want that. I don't want people to change the demographic of Sudan, because I actually do have respect for cultures and backgrounds and ethnicities. I don't think that we're all just this big glob and we're all one, okay, in a certain sense, yes, we're all one and that we're humans and stuff, but no, there's also a beauty behind the differences in culture. If you really do respect culture and diversity, then you would understand that.
What's her name? Something Lupus. She's a doctor. She goes, "Oh, what do you guys think about this? Thoughts?" And it's a picture of Vivek and his brown family. And one of the most
Sorry, guys.
interacted with comments was
Gotta
subversive
get the
brown
dust
poop
off
eating
my.
parasites. And that's what flooded my feed. And I think I had some irritation because I'm, aligning with conservatives because the woke left has been a disaster for America.
Well, first and foremost, just to be someone that's so new in this country and then to immediately castigate or to cast aside everybody that's in here and say, well, guess what? You're just a bunch of was just mind boggling to
Your boy's got to take some ibuprofen. Just like I said, I'm getting over the sickness, but not completely.
you don't like brown skin while at the same castigate or to cast aside everybody that's in here and say, well, guess what? Immediately castigate or to cast aside everybody that's in here and say, well, guess what? You're just a bunch of racists. You don't like brown skin, while at the same time referring to us as woke was just mind boggling to me. Just as Dee Bannon said, it means that she hasn't spent the time to understand who and what the American people are, what the MAGA movement is, and why they have concerns about this program. And so to make sure that everybody around the world understands why this is such a big debate, the H-1B visa program is essentially a foreign worker visa that allows employers to hire workers into quote unquote specialty programs, essentially for people who have some sort of a specialized knowledge. But to be clear, the program has been around since 1990, so the results aren't up for debate. We were just simply lied to about what we were told it was going to do, which was to source the top 1% of talent globally. Instead, they're using the program to source cashiers, teachers, janitors, PR people. And just to respond to the point about seeing racist comments on Twitter, I've heard this argument a lot of times from people where they'll suddenly pretend that if you take a position of something and they can find a racist comment beneath it, then you're on the side of the
That's not what
racist.
I'm doing.
That's just
It
called,
is what you're doing,
I'm,
Mikhaila.
I'm just saying that literally since the day that I started my accounts on Instagram, I've been called the N-word from left and the right.
That's literally exactly what you did. That's exactly what you did. How did you not?
It's just welcome to the internet, doesn't mean that these are the positions that are represented. In fact, this conversation that we're having is something that I would almost refer to as MAGA 101. This is like a freshman year class in MAGA college. I've been hearing this debate, have spoken about this debate on stage. I mean, I've spoken at more than 100 universities. And to be frank with you, because I came over from the left, when I first got into this movement, I thought the same thing. I thought, okay, well, I don't understand what the issue is if it's legal migration. But I then listened to people and I wanted to understand where people were coming from. And I opened my mind to what they were saying and realized that they were very much correct. And I think that's sort of where you get into trouble with the MAGA movement, when you just instantly sweep away and condemn everyone and say, well, some people were saying racist stuff about Indians, and so this entire argument now is based on racism. It simply isn't.
Wow. Well said, Candace. So here's the thing, guys, just to wrap this up succinctly, this has been done before. Okay, they're repackaging this in a different movement. And that's really why I said what I said at the beginning of the video, because it is important to know that the MAGA movement has been co-opted. Okay, it is no longer what it used to be. Now, I'm not going to make this video entirely about that because I've talked about that enough, but it's been done before. Okay, and at the end of the day, we can see the results, and the results as being what they are. There's no reason why American citizens cannot do those jobs. There is absolutely no reason. This is something that, in theory, in the ethosphere, might seem like, again, a very liberal minded take. Not me, not Candace, but just the idea that it might work, and in theory it's going to be this, and in theory we're going to get the top 1% and put them into the toughest and most difficult jobs in the world. That way we stay at the top as an American nation, or as a nation on a global scale. But in reality, it doesn't. That's not how it goes. These people don't come here and do those jobs. And again, why can't American citizens be trained to do those jobs? They can. But again, it would cost more. It would cost more, because these people who come over here are basically indentured servants. They can build up their life. They can do what they can get comfortable living here in America. But as soon as that job goes away, or that company, downsizes, or is no more, no mas, they're gone. They're gone. They go back to their country, and an American citizen is out of that job. But again, most of the time, that is not even the job that they're doing. They're not doing these super high skilled jobs. Or another one is, well, they'll do the jobs that American citizens don't want to do. Are you kidding me? Please, please give me a break. Give me a break. So again, this what Mikhaila is saying is very liberal minded. The MAGA movement and this aspect of what has been transfused into it has added an element of being co-opted. It's unfortunate. And it's just so much more than that. There is a makeup of what makes America America, the culture of America. And if you're a true America First individual, this mindset is antithetical towards doing everything you can to build up the American citizen into being the best that they can be so that they can give back to America. At the end of the day, that is what being America First is putting the American citizen first and their best interests first and uh putting their longevity, their life first before ever thinking about any other nation and bringing them over here uh, to contribute to America. So then, just lastly, Candace Owens was spot on saying that she was trying to dog whistle and say detract from the argument and detract from the proponents of H1B visas by just calling them racists. And that's what liberals do. Okay. Just calling them racists is exactly what liberals do. Again, no actual argument, no actual point against or making her point more clear and better in the eyes of the audience. Again, this is why Candace Owens is not the worst. She's probably, in my estimation, the only female that's decent to listen to every now and again because she actually is inquisitive. She illustrated how she, on multiple occasions, she used to be liberal. She changed to being conservative after more critical thought. Then, as being a conservative, she thought that H1B visas were okay initially, but she heard other argumentations. She was open-minded, inquisitive, critical thinker, changed her mind, and that's it. That's it. So, um, this is what it is, guys. Again, if you are an America First individual, the H1B visa situation is not okay because that is the not only that in and of itself is not in the best interests of American citizens, but it is a gateway to the massive immigration scale that we've seen, illegal immigration scale that we've been seeing over the last 10, 15 years, that has just been argued over and over about the efficacy of it, whether it's okay, it's not okay, it's okay, it's not okay. Meanwhile, there's millions and millions of them coming across unchecked, invading our nation. Okay. You don't have a nation if you don't have borders and you don't have a common tongue, a common people group, and things like that. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment. You guys know the drill. And last but not least, DBAP. Don't be a pussy willow. And facts are feelings because your feelings just don't matter. I love you, Kings. I will definitely see you guys next time. I got some content lined up for you guys. And last but not least, Christ is King. See you guys next time. Peace.